And we are live. Let's go. What up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. It is Monday, April 7th, 8:19 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Hopefully you do. Oh, yeah, let me fix this over here. I remember last time I messed up over here. Let's go. All right, so we're live. Christy, are you there?
I am here. How are you, Nino?
It's Christy Maga. How are you, sis? What's
Let's
up?
go. Nothing. Just like really been laying low lately. Just like not doing a lot. Just kind of scrolling and strolling and ready to be going live again.
Man, doesn't Instagram suck? For real,
Oh my gosh.
damn.
You know what? I almost feel guilty that like I know I see all these like messages that I have,
Yeah.
and I don't even like just even have the energy to open them and respond. And I know that
Sis,
sounds
it's
terrible,
it's weird that
but
you say that because I'm in the same boat. I got messages in there that I have not responded. I'm not gonna lie. I basically gave up on Instagram. Everybody watching now on the repeat, God bless you. We got a great show in store for you today. Me and Christy Maga, let's go. But I basically gave up on Instagram, sis, because first of all, we're juggling all these platforms, right? That's one thing, and then Instagram has the worst restrictions of them all, and then my page don't grow no more. They've already told me that I'm restricted from being pushed to the algorithm. So I kind of gave up on Instagram a long time ago, sis. But it's funny that you said that you don't even respond to your messages. Me too. I don't even really go to IG no more. I'm not even gonna lie. Where I'm
I
at is on my Facebook page. I'm already gonna hit 50,000 followers on the Facebook page, and I'm just like doing numbers. I got like 1 million interactions. Reached 9 million accounts in 28 days. The Facebook page, man, it is where it's at. Go ahead.
And I believe part of that is because Zuck now, has befriended Trump, and Facebook is definitely not nearly as restrictive as it used to be. Um,
Yup.
IG, I feel like is just really more for businesses and celebrities and things
Yep.
like that. But I will say this: IG Threads, I feel like is a black market IG,
What?
and I'm telling you, you got to be thick skinned and ready to go to war whenever you get in there and start arguing on threads. These people go for the jugular. It's rough on IG threads.
I'll tell you right now, sis, I do very well on Threads. That's actually a place that I make sure that I do post at. If y'all get a chance, check me out on Threads, y'all. I do very good numbers on the Threads app. And, to me, it was like a throwaway. But,
Well, and
anyways,
I think
go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, I think that if you do it the way that you do it, threads is a really good thing to have, but I get in there and I fight with people like you know me. So like I'll read somebody's comment I don't like, and so the war begins. It's not really me posting on threads, it's just me getting into it with people on threads.
And what was the deal with Threads, right? I guess Meta made a new app to combat Elon with X, and he made Threads, right? Because
Hmm.
it's basically like a X ripoff, correct?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're just here kicking back on the live, y'all. Me and Christy. Even if we didn't have nobody watching, y'all, which right now I don't think our numbers are doing too. We're doing them pretty good. Shout out to 5 people watching us on YouTube right now. But we're just gonna kick back on the scroll with Nino and Christy. Uh, they just released the full arrest report of Carmelo Anthony. I'll grab that in a minute. I actually had that, sis, for a couple of days on it, but man, it was, I don't know, kind of a hassle to get all that and post it. But uh, we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, y'all, so we're kicking back
We
on the
will.
live. Yeah, like I said, Threads is pretty good. I'm doing pretty good numbers on Threads, on everything else. But let's be honest, y'all, it's tough. Like I even saw that, No Jumper. I don't know if you saw my video, sis, but No Jumper, Adam 22 saying that they're going broke, and he's hitting like 25 million people a month on YouTube, sis. And Adam 22 is claiming
Wow.
that he's going broke because he lives in Cali and he bought a $4 million, studio, and he said that the numbers are just not, mathing because let's be honest, to sit here and make content full time, you better have a good stick and you better have good content and you better push it out quite a bit in order to make money. To be a content creator, y'all, you can make money. There is money to be made, but at the same time, it is a job. It's like a full time job to get content. But it's kind of weird and crazy that he's saying that he's going broke, sis. And your thoughts on Adam 22? I don't know if you even know who that is. No Jumper. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. No, I know who he is, but I think that part of it you have to realize that with social media, I mean, you can be done in just one day with one wrong
Mm-hmm.
post.
Yeah.
And living in California, number one, that I mean, everybody, even the celebrities, are like moving out. Mark Wahlberg, who I really like a lot, he sold all of his properties in California and moved to Vegas because it was like half the price. And he was like, "What am I doing in this crazy city and crazy state?" And he ended up moving to Vegas. But a lot of people are doing that. So one wrong post or whatever, and you could be done for. I mean, and if you've got everything tied into social media, yeah, that would be rough.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this lady, but my daughter was showing us Miranda Sings. I don't know if you remember her, but
Uh-uh.
I'm on my second day off right now, y'all, and I go back, after the day after tomorrow. You know what the day of the week is? What, Monday? Today's I'll go back Wednesday. But anyways, hey, shout out Dusty Vision TV. That's the brother right there in the comments. We trying it, brother. We trying it over here. I'm dropping a video of his again tonight, sis. I interviewed him, and we got an awesome interview coming. Everybody check out Dusty Vision TV. I'm
Awesome.
trying, brother. Got five on the live over here, brother. He knows how it is. It's hard being a content creator, but I digress. But anyways, shout out Dusty Vision, y'all. Y'all check him out. You get a chance. But the content says, oh, Miranda sings. So I was sitting back on the couch, and it was me, my dogs, my wife, and my son and my daughter, and they're watching YouTube videos. We just went and watched Minecraft. We'll talk about that in a minute. But everybody got
Hmm.
mad at me for that. But anyways, so we're kicking back on the couch, and let me highlight Homeboy's comment there. Boom, check him out, y'all. Dusty Vision, California, MAGA right there. So we're on the couch, and then I told my daughter, what happened to Miranda Sings? Because she's looking at YouTubers she likes, and she said, man, she got canceled basically, but she was like messaging underage, back in the day, she was
Hmm.
messaging her audience or something weird. But like I said, my daughter's like, yeah, she got canceled. I said, well, let's look at her channel real quick. She still has millions of followers. She has another channel, and my daughter started showing me her content, but she still gets hundreds of thousands of views. But it's back to what Christy said, y'all. The one wrong post, and you will be toast.
Hmm.
Except I'm gonna be honest. Me and Charleston White. Hey, shout out my boy CW, but I've never apologized. I never back down. I've done some crazy outlandish things on social media, nothing weird, but you can't get canceled. But I feel like sometimes I was uncancelable, even though I did piss a lot of even our own people off. But someone like Charleston White, he said some crazy things, crazier than I've ever heard anybody, and he's never been canceled
Uh-huh.
himself. He still stands on what he says. But you're right, sis. Nowadays, in this day and age, you have to be tiptoeing on social media, as far as what you say. But at the same time, Facebook, my page is booming. I say what I want to say over there within the means or the bounds of their censorship or their guidelines. And someone the other day on Instagram told me, man, just say the whole word instead of saying Jay, say the whole word. And I'm like, no. They're like, be free or stand up for free speech or whatever. But look, guys, I've been on social media for a couple years now, 5 years probably, and none of my accounts have been taken out. And you can't just be on social media saying every word you want, thinking you're going to get
Nope.
taken out of there. We introduced and we've been the inventors or innovators of the MAGA lingo. Sorry, and we've learned to skirt around the Facebook thought police, in a good supreme way where they don't just ban us every chance they get. And that's why we're still here while others are not, because we don't say certain words. We know what they like and don't like. My boy Dusty Vision TV, I'm interviewing him, and he's like self-censoring his own words that come out of his mouth. And he even said, even when he's speaking, he just don't say these certain words like the Rona. It's already embedded in his mind. And this happened to me and my wife. We'll be having a conversation in the kitchen. I'm like, the J's, or I'll say like certain words, the Rona. I'll say certain words that we use on social media because it's instilled in me. Even in my own house, I don't even say these words like I should because we've been dealing with social media. And it's sad to say that's how they have us nowadays. They basically they make you self-censor yourself because you say these certain words and you'll be taken out. Go ahead, sis. Sorry.
But the thing I was going to say is also if you want to be a podcaster and you want that audience to follow you, you know that whenever you sign up your account and all of that, that you're signing up for their community guidelines and you're agreeing to those. Just like you do not have free speech if you go into a courtroom. I don't want to cuss the judge out and watch what happens to you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yup.
whenever you create accounts, you know what their terms of service and their community guidelines are. We found out through YouTube that they use electronic keywords. That is just an automatic thing that pops up.
Algorithm.
They,
Yeah.
yep, they also have invisible bots that come in and moderate chat. They also use, people reporting certain stuff. So you're agreeing to their terms of service and their community guidelines. So we have to we have to abide by those if we want those accounts.
Hey, right here it says here he is, Uncle Tom, Dusty Vision TV. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I shared his page. He has a big Facebook page too. And I think that Charleston White kind of copied him. I might be wrong, but he said that Charleston White, he has an interview with Charleston White when CW was more, conservative, less rambunctious, because they didn't listen to him then, sis, right? Until he started cussing and smoking, and acting, like a
Hmm.
certain culture. Then they started listening to him. But Dusty Vision TV, my buddy Dusty, which his name is Arnold, shout out the men with real names, manly names. He said that he interviewed CW, and then he had a show, and he does a page called Uncle Tom Show. And I always hear, Charleston White say that, Uncle Tom, of course, was a hero. But here's the link right here, y'all. It's on my Facebook page. The first segment of our interview with Dusty Vision TV is out right now. Check it out. I'm gonna drop another clip today, probably 2 a day on this actual hour and 20-minute interview. It was great. And like I said, someone that knows about content, censorship, and all that, sis, is Dusty Vision TV. He even said, sis, that he had somebody on his show back in the hot era, and this guy was giving his opinion on the Rona, and he got in trouble on YouTube. And ever since then, he's kind of, he said ever since then, he felt that he was shadow banned. And he said his numbers, he used to get 1,000 views easily on any video, right? So I believe I'm in the same boat. Somehow, some way on YouTube, these platforms, they have some kind of restriction on certain accounts. If you're getting in trouble, hot water, I don't know what it is, but they can limit your reach. They show it to you on Instagram. I think my YouTube channel has somewhat some of that stuff going in it too. I've even seen some people don't even use the word Trump in their titles. But again, Dusty Vision TV, Dusty right here says how they basically shadow banned and restricted his account once he got in trouble for the Rona, or someone even having an opinion of the Rona. The point is, y'all,
Yep.
we've been doing this for a long time. Not sitting here saying that we're bigger and better than nobody, but the point is, they know how to get you. And if you are on these platforms, you have to act and move accordingly, because you can't just get on here and say whatever the hell you want, because that's not how it
Nope.
works. This is a business. YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else in between has to get your content, put it out there to an audience, and publish it. And they're not going to let you just get on there and say whatever you want. You are on their platform. So I would say there is no digital bill of rights. There is no online free speech. We are on their platforms. They can take us out whenever they want to. And that's how it is.
Hmm.
Final words on that. Go ahead, sis.
No, just exactly what you said, that, whenever you create an account, you're signing up for their rules, just like you are at anything else. When to drive a car, you're following the rules. Whenever you're driving a truck, you have to follow the rules, and that's their rules for their platform. And, you're allowed to sign up for it. And if you mess it up, it's on you. So we learned, like you said, through the MAGA lingo, that we just had to use certain code words.
Yep, that's just how it is. It's like I said, it's funny. Me and my wife be in the kitchen, and I'll be acting. Well, they are watching you, right? I took some Pepto Bismol last night. I ain't gonna lie, since I was laying in bed, rolling around, I couldn't go to sleep. I had to take Pepto Bismol, and I forgot what else I did. But sure enough, I saw on my phone in the daytime. Me and my wife were talking about it. She bought me a Pepto Bismol with the cooling sensation, and I got a damn ad on my Facebook. I think it
Yep.
was Facebook or Instagram, was for Pepto Bismol. I'm like,
Yeah, it
damn,
does.
they're listening to us.
They do, because the same thing happened for me looking for my niece new tires. Her and I had a phone conversation, and the very next day in Facebook and Instagram, all of my ads were about, like, Goodyear, buy 3 tires, get 1 tire free, free lifetime tire rotations, like all these different ads. They're absolutely listening to everything that we say.
Yep,
And it's been proven through TikTok that that people didn't even ever have to even download their app. And they had spyware that listened to conversations that would pull up relevant ads, or put things on your phone. So I don't know if you remember us doing that a long time ago. We had a big live about that.
Well, also, sis, whenever we put these apps on our phones, we agree to the terms and conditions, and they
Yep.
do have that stipulation there somewhere along the dotted line where they can listen and post, or listen to what you're saying and use that against you later on. That's just how it is. It's just the world we live in, y'all. In 1984, all over again. Anyways, I digress.
Yep.
Let's get to the first subject at hand, which is going to be boom. I barely posted this on my Facebook page. Check me out on Facebook, y'all. Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page, 80, with his 34-year-old girlfriend in Dubai. Now, I want to point this out because, hey, this is legal. Is he a perv? I guess I'll let everybody, answer that on your own, opinion there. But sis, we see this time and time again. Old men getting with young women. Let's be honest. Trump is a certain age. Melania is younger. This is an interesting subject here. Older men getting with younger women and vice versa. How do American citizens look at this compared from now till back in the day? Then again, let's look at our grandparents. I'm gonna be honest. I think my grandparents were very young. My grandmother was, and my grandfather was a little bit older, and they got married, and there was no big deal about the age difference. I'm not saying it was a huge or crazy difference, but it wasn't like what we're used to nowadays. Older times compared to now is way different. Your thoughts on Led Zeppelin's guitarist Jimmy Page? Says he's 80, she's 34.
I really, people are just going to do what they want to do. My whole thing just goes back to the whole thing that we've talked about a million times of being equally yoked. This man was alive. So he was a year old when World War II was going on.
Oh damn.
She wasn't even thought of. She's what, almost 40, what, 46, 47 years younger than him. I mean, I don't know. I just think that I don't see how they could have like any l- life. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I don't see where they could have anything that relates to one another besides him having a young girl on his arm. Like they don't have the same life values, the same things to talk about. He led this massive life and now he's just got arm candy. But I guess it's, to each their own. I think that Trump and Melania are a little bit different though. You've seen how long that they've been together. You see kind of like the love that they have for each other. If you look up Jimmy Page, whenever he started Led Zeppelin, you can read about all the different women he's had and things like that. So I don't know. I think it's a really big difference between Trump and Led Zeppelin, dude.
Well, I'm gonna be honest too. Some men, I mean, think about it. Maybe he don't. Of course, he's too old. Maybe he don't want to have kids. Maybe he pays what he weighs. He has a younger broad on his show on his arm, and he's happy with that, right? And she's happy with the role she plays, right? I mean, maybe let's be honest. Nowadays, relationships they ain't always about having a family and having kids and making memories and all that. Sometimes it's like a business proposition. At the end of
He's
the
already got five children. Yeah.
yeah, and what about her? Well, I don't know if you know anything about her. I guess she might be a model. But anyways, y'all, there's about a 34, 40, almost 46, damn, a 46 age different gap here. Kind of odd, but like I said, he's getting what he wants out of the relationship. She's probably getting what she wants. They're of age, and it's just kind of crazy. I posted on my big page, and I'm surprised to see the comments on here to see what they're saying. It's just I don't know if it's weird or not. In 2025, y'all, nothing surprised me. We've got some more crazy stories we're fixing to get into right here, but this is the first one of the day to start it off is, Jimmy Page, 80, and his 34-year-old girlfriend. And hey, they're in Dubai. Again, they're
They've
of
been
age. They can do
together.
what they want. Go ahead.
They've been together 11 years already, though.
Damn.
Yeah, it says the couple has been together since 2014 when Paige was 70 years old and Scarlett, as her name, was about 24. Um, they've lived together pretty much since then in West London.
Damn.
Yeah, they've been together, 11 years.
Maybe they're happy. They can do it. Like I said, well, they
Yeah,
probably are happy. I mean, shoot, they're 11 years in the relationship. A lot of people can't even last that long. So, shout out Jimmy
exactly.
Page. Well, let me ask you, says you keep it real. Do you think this is weird?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because they don't have they you cannot have life experiences. How are you equally yoked with somebody that is 46 years older than you? You think of a 46-year-old man and she was just being born. I mean,
Mm.
maybe they have good conversation, maybe they have a great romantic life, maybe they have all those things, but it's just weird. I don't see how anybody's equally yoked and has life experiences that they could even share together. It just is weird to me. I mean, it's just really weird. He was definitely old enough to be an old father to her, maybe a grandfather.
And then you said that they're 11 years in the relationship. So that means that he got with her when he was 70 and she was 24
Yeah,
to
yeah.
23. Mm.
It's 24. It said about 20, yeah, she was about 24. So I don't know exactly when they got together, but said that she was around the age of 24.
There it is, y'all. Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page was surprised what money can do. Man. So let's get to the next topic at hand. Sis. Now, this is crazy. We're, this is pretty wild. The rapper Tay K. This guy was a kid. The man's already looking kind of old. Chris said that she thinks he looks young, but this dude right here, I seen when he went to prison the first, time. He's already getting a receding hairline. He's wearing bifocals, glasses. He's a rapper from Texas. Christy, give us a quick rundown on Tay K.
So he was born in 2000. He is an American rapper and a convicted murderer.
Eesh.
Um, he's best known for his 2017 song "The Race," which peaked at number 44 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, and he did receive a platinum certification by the Recording Industry Association of America. Um, he the way that the whole capital
Capital
unaliving
unaliving. Go ahead.
happened. Yeah, the capital unaliving happened, and it's still pending trial. Was that if I read everything correctly, it was they're saying it was a photo shoot gone wrong, and that I know that his ex-girlfriend, I think, testified yesterday or today, but that it was a photo shot gone wrong, and that they robbed the photographer, who I think only had $10 in his pocket, if I read that correctly.
And it says they high five themselves, right?
Yep, that definitely high five that he had his first body, and yeah, I mean, it's just disgusting behavior. I just don't understand. But like I said to you, I don't know if I am just like really like paying more attention to the evil that's going on, or if it's just more in my face. But I never remember my parents talking about like all of these things that were going on about, teachers with kids, and all these unalivings and all these hostage situations for people being Christians in other countries. I just never grew up with like that kind of childhood or even early adulthood. And it's just like so in our face all the time now. And this is absolutely like disgusting. Her name was Joanna Reyes, and she said that she was with him on April the 23rd, 2017, and the photo shoot turned violent.
Oh, so
And
sis, he was at his own photo shoot, or he was at a photo shoot and he robbed and murked the photographer for $10.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
got the picture right now pulled up.
Um,
I got the picture right now pulled up when he first got arrested. The kids, I mean, he's a young boy. Looks no young older than my son. My 13-year-old son. This is crazy, y'all. Kids committing this horrendous acts. And I'm gonna be honest. I believe it's the music. He goes and makes a song called the Race, and that was actually in, if I'm not mistaken, in response to him going on the run. They call it the race. When you do the race, you basically chopping it, and you know what I'm saying. You're getting away from getting arrested. So he also made a song about him being on the run, y'all. Tay K. I don't know how old he was here. Do you know how old he was when he committed the crime? I'm sorry if you said it, sis, but he looks no older than 17 here on this picture, y'all. It's a very
well,
sad
so he was
situation.
born. Yeah, so it happened in April 20. It happened on April 23rd, 2017. He was born in 2000. So depending on he was born, he was either 16 or 17 years old. And what they said happened is that so his girlfriend's last name is Reyes, said her boyfriend, last name McIntyre, the rapper, had asked her to help find a photographer. She reached out to someone named Saldivar, who she knew through Instagram, and set it up. Whenever the photo shoot was supposed to happen, Saldivar asked, "Hey, can we reschedule this photo shoot?" and requested a ride to the North Star Mall, which Reyes said, "Yeah, I'll take you there." Um, the rapper got out and demanded his backpack and got him in the leg one time. And yeah, and then it says that all of his friends like high-fived him for getting his first.
Body.
They were saying you got the first body and giving him a high five. It was really sad.
We'll keep everybody updated on the case of Tay K, y'all. I think he was in Dallas. Is that correct? Dusty Vision said that he was 16 when he did this heinous act, and he's been locked up ever since, y'all. It's and I'm gonna say sad case, but at the same time, I'm not gonna make an excuse for anybody that does this. It don't matter who you are. We're gonna talk about Austin Metcalf in a minute, but the point is, it don't matter what age you are. You know, you should never take justice into your own hands in situations. Well, this ain't even justice. I'm just saying you should never take somebody's life, should I say? Because the Bible says that God says vengeance is His, amen. And for you to try to play God and take someone's life is wicked as hell. Unaliving someone is a wicked sin, and we stand against that. And you know, if this kid gets life, I don't know what his. I mean, I don't know what charges he has. Right now, does he have multiple charges? I don't know if you can look that up real quick, sis. But the point is, go
I
ahead.
think that they said that he was number the one thing I want to ask though is why is it taking so long to get people to trial?
Right. Well, it's in
Like
Texas.
this
We got a
happened.
backlog, sis, in Texas. But go ahead.
Okay, but 2017 and it's 2025. Come on. I mean, like things might be backlogged, but that's really backlogged.
So
I don't
so
know exactly
so
if he was. I
he
think it's
only
capital
has.
murder, but I'm not.
Okay.
Oops.
So there he is, y'all. Take care. We'll give us more information as it comes out. I just know this happened in Texas, in my state. And again, you know, there's no excuse for this. Teach your children
Mm-mm.
better. I mean, real quick, sis. Uh, what are your thoughts on that? Before we end this segment, your thoughts on this kid? You know, being a kid when he did it, should he be held accountable to the fullest extent? I mean, I hate to say, what if it was your child? But my child is, playing Minecraft. You know, he's over there playing. You know, he's in his room with my wife and daughter. So my kid would never be doing this crap. But what do you think about him being a kid, sis? Should he be held accountable, or should be he? You know, it's like Charleston White. Charleston White unalived somebody, and he helped. He was one of the first cases in Texas of a kid being charged with certain unaliving and then being held responsible as an adult, and he actually had the law changed later. But do you think that this kid right here should have any kind of leeway since he was a kid?
Leniency,
Yeah, because he was a
leniency
kid.
because he's younger.
Yes.
No, I'm so they're going to anyway because a new law that has been passed is that anybody that's charged that is not an adult, I think it's after 25 years that the case has to be reexamined, and I'll have to go into further. I'll have to research that a little bit further to see if that's like a federal law or if that's state by state. But I know that regardless of everything, he had no home training.
Mm.
Absolutely. So, you know, the kind of songs that your son is making, you know, the things that he's out doing, and then he does this. Absolutely not. I was born on a farm, 189 acres. I was taught at the age of 5 how to properly use any kind of weapon that I needed to go hunting and stuff like that, and was trained on all these things. These people do it for clout and do it because they think. I mean, high fives for doing that to somebody, to a photographer. Where who does that? Like, no, his parents should be held responsible also.
Disgusting, y'all. There he is, Tay, and he did the race, and now he's got to face the consequences
I
of.
bet he's gonna be taking it in there too.
Yep. And there it is, y'all. Let's get to the next subject at hand. Boom. So we're gonna get to one of the most. Man, I got a post go viral over here, y'all. This is freaking crazy with the. I guess let's go ahead and go to the Austin Metcalf over here, y'all. This is pretty. Well, let's continue with. We'll go with Lauren Ashley, sis. Let's just continue with the show like we had planned. This is crazy right here. Another sad situation. Boom. Lauren Ashley Rudolph. Shame on you, wicked woman. Huntsville Independent School
Mhm.
District in Texas, Huntsville's in Texas, of course, was arrested after she allegedly let a student move into her house. What the hell? Okay, and let's continue. This is wild. What a wicked woman. This is the third, and then she was arrested after she engaged in a relationship, you know what, with the student. This is the third Huntsville ISD teacher charged with an S offense in the last 3 weeks. What the hell? Texas, what
Mhm.
is going on? Sis, this is crazy. So we highlight this. If you look at my page on Nino America, you can sit there and say I'm this way against blacks. Pick any race. You're gonna see us expose and put anybody on my page or my
Yep.
channel that needs to be put on there. I don't care if they're white, black, brown. whatever, they indigo, they need to be put on blast and they need to be put out
Yep.
there for everybody to see. So you can't sit there and say that I'm a certain leaning way on my page, even though I'm the representative and the lifelong member and director of White Lives Matter in Southside Midland, Texas. Salute myself. But the point is, we expose everybody. Your thoughts on this woman? I don't know if you have anything, reference on this, sis. But this is crazy, sis. Another pervert teacher. This is why I'm glad my son is homeschooled. He's never stepped a foot in homeschool, and to be honest, he's kind of off of his curriculum right now, his Abeka. And I told my wife, I said, I don't care if he even does any more, schooling, which he is. My wife's gonna be doing more, teaching. But he's so smart now. I told my wife, even if he didn't even do no more schooling for any time at all, I'd rather him be in my house and learning what he learns from us than to step foot into a public school system the way it is now. You can't even trust the teachers. Now, it's one thing that the students will bully you, harass you, and rob you and rob the photographer like TK, but then you got to worry about these pervert teachers, especially freaking women. They want to
Yep.
get your sons and take them home to live with them. Go ahead, sis.
If you just even like, if you just go through and if you do a Google search of Texas teacher who essayed kids, the amount of women teachers that are doing this is just something you have like never even heard of. We did a live not too long ago, Nino, about the woman that I believe she had multiple victims and finally broke down and told his mom the truth about everything that happened. Like, I absolutely do not understand what's going through. It can't be anything more than Satan. It really seriously can't. To look at a child, even if it's a 15-year-old, they are not adults and want to do these things. What's wrong with these women? And the one woman that we reported on last time, Nina, has been married and her husband knew she was doing it.
Beta cuck. It's disgusting, y'all. Huntsville. There's actually a prison there. Put her ass in prison right there in Huntsville, y'all, down the road.
Absolutely.
But sis, I don't know if you have any more information, but they're saying this is the third woman in the last 3 weeks. What the hell's what's in the water in Huntsville, Texas, y'all? That these women have the audacity, the disgustingness to prey on a child, especially one that they teach. Now, look, doing this to anybody of any age, a minor, is horrible in itself. But let's be honest. If you're a teacher and you're doing this to your student, I don't care if you're a freaking college professor and your student's of age, right? I don't know if you can even go to college after age. I don't know how that works. I'm just saying, and I think I've heard of stuff like that, but it don't matter. If you're some kind of a teacher teaching a student, that should be illegal in itself that you're trying to even mess with them. You shouldn't be some kind of teacher, it's kind of like you're taking advantage of them. Like the owner of La Perla, that dude that hired the illegals, he was actually messing around with one of the women from Mexico that he hired illegally, that they raided, and his wife went and snitched on him. So he's the same way. If you're a boss and you take advantage of someone, one of your workers, that should be illegal too, especially if your worker isn't illegal because you're basically doing it against their will. They're doing it because they can't speak out or they might get fired or get put ice on them. I'm just saying, if you're a boss and you're messing around with your workers, shame on you. And if you are a teacher messing around with your students, shame on you as well. And you could say the boss.
That is absolutely
grooming. You see what I'm saying? It's just, I think there's kind of you have some kind of you're like I don't say overlord, but you're basically their boss. You're basically the authority figure, and there you are preying on them, and of course they're going to be more prone to letting you do whatever you want because you are in a higher position where you are currently. Go ahead.
And I need to tell you this. So there's been an update. 4 Huntsville ISD employees have now been arrested in separate investigations. 3 of them are men. And the one that we're talking about, she is the former cheerleading coach. But there's 4 of them. It's just absolutely disgusting. One of the oldest one his name was James. And he was accused in 2018, but just got arrested on March 6th of 2025 for it.
Who was that? Who was that again?
His name is James Blasingham 57 is accused of aggravated essay of a
Okay.
child in 2000 in
That was
2018.
in Huntsville, right? Or where was that at?
Yes, yeah, yeah. In Huntsville. These are all Huntsville. Four in 2025 so far have been arrested in Huntsville. He was employed by Huntsville ISD. He was arrested March 6, 2025. The Lauren Rudolph that we're talking about was 33. She is accused of improper relationship between educator and student as a Huntsville High School cheerleading coach. She was arrested in March 2025. And then there's two more that were recently terminated. It's a white man and a black man for the same thing for essaying, children.
Oh my goodness, sis. Dude,
Four teachers.
if I have more time to waste on, and I don't say waste, but I have more time for that, I'll ask you what's the population. I don't know if you can give me the population, the race, what's down there, the predominant race in Huntsville. I would like to know, and what's the voting out there, conservative and liberal. But I digress. This is just disgusting, y'all. And like I said, you can look at my page, Nino America. Say what you want about me. I'm an equal opportunity deporter, and I'm an equal opportunity exposer. Okay, you cross the line. You hurt children. You break the law. You break the law of the land. You come here illegally. I don't care what color you are. Those right there is a no-go. You hurt children. You cross the line into my land illegally. You commit crimes in my city or in my nation. I don't care what color you are. I'm going to expose you and put you on my page, and we're going to laugh at you, and we're going to shame you. This right here is basically what I'm saying. I'm going to show another woman here in Midland, another pervert, or no, another horrible mother, should I say, right? It sucks her child. Hold on, sis. And we're going to put you on blast. Public shaming should be what we do. That's what I do on my big page. You don't got to like it. Don't commit a crime, and Nino America won't be here pointing his pen at you on a live stream.
That's right.
Because we're going to shame you. Because you deserve even worse. Give me the info. We're going to move on. Go ahead.
So the Huntsville, Texas population is 48,552. 57.7% of the population is white, 22.6% is Black or African American, 4.22 other race, and smaller percentages for Asian, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander Native Americans. So the majority is white there by quite a bit.
Okay.
57. And then the next goes down to 22, which is Black.
Okay, and that's in Huntsville, Texas, y'all. This woman, horrible. Lauren Ashley Rudolph, shame on you. Okay, and we're gonna get to the Austin Metcalf. We actually have somebody who wants to call in, sis. I was gonna go to the next woman that hurt her child. We'll touch on that one in a minute. We have a longtime follower here, Bella R, wants to call in. I'm gonna put the number up here in a minute, but we're gonna start speaking about the Austin Metcalf situation. Now, this right here shocked the nation, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. Let me go in and get to my posting here. We went viral. This thing hit. I've had many posts go viral, especially on this topic. It's sad to say, but let's be honest. That's the day we live in. People like negative news, right? And let me get to this real quick, Christy. Where's it at? Have that number ready, sis. Whenever I tell you if we can let this woman get on here. She's actually doing for Carmelo Anthony, and of course that's her free speech and her opinion. We'll see what she has to say. But let's go ahead and do our quick segment on this actual case. If I can pull it up, it's I post every hour on Nino America. Y'all check it out, and it's a very popular page on Facebook, probably the biggest page in West Texas, to be honest. And I do my best to post hourly and daily, on the page. Let's go ahead and start from the beginning on this. Hold on, sis. I'm sorry for this. There's so much. I've posted so much on this. Sorry, Christy, you there?
No, I'm here. This is going to be I'm just being honest. This is going to be a tough one for me because I am so sick of hearing the racial card being played all the time for everything. And right is right and wrong is wrong. And we'll get more into it, but I'm just going to have to really watch my words and my temper whenever we get into this. And I'm just being honest.
Boom. And we're here. So this popped off April 2nd is when I found out about it. 9:46 p.m. I posted. The gentleman on the left is Carmelo Anthony. The fine gentleman on the right is Austin Metcalf. So this broke everywhere, y'all. And it's a touchy subject, like Christy said. And what happened is I don't know if you have the date, sis, exactly when it happened. I think it happened on the 1st. I may be wrong. It might even happen on the 2nd.
April 2nd. It was April
Okay.
2nd.
Okay. Let's continue because that's very important. Because I'm going to be honest, the father and the parents came out making statements pretty quick, and I thought that was odd. But I digress. Let's start off with this. So they have a track meet, right, Christy? Go ahead and give us the
Hmm.
background on this if you have it pulled up. What happened here in this situation with these two high school students?
So the only thing that there's so much different information out there, Nino, that all that I can really figure out is that Austin told the guy that he was Carmelo, that he was sitting in the wrong seat and that he needed to move. Somehow, I don't know if maybe Carmelo felt that he was like embarrassed because there was a bunch of jocks down there. I don't know, whatever, but for some reason then came over and did what he did. Now they're trying to say that Austin put his hands on Carmelo before any of that ever happened. I've seen no video footage of that. That's just hearsay, word of mouth. All I know is that it's another absolutely senseless unaliving of someone for
Okay.
no reason, for
Okay.
absolutely no reason.
So I got some info. I actually have the police report, but I didn't post it because it was like a couple of pages, and I just, I have so much going on. But basically, the police report was released, and let me scroll to that here momentarily. But again, that happened here in Frisco, Texas. Now, here's a little picture of the scene on the bleachers under the tent. Some people are saying that I don't know how true this is, right? This is just saying that, he was on the wrong side. He skipped class. There's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of misinfo. They even made a report from the police saying that
That's what I
there's
was saying. Yeah.
fake posts on Facebook saying that the chief said something that's not true. I've only gotten information for the most part from the police report and certain certified sources that have been reported from the news. So here is the bleachers, and there's a tent that they said that it happened. And then there's my White Lives Matter post. Shout out to white Christian straight males out there, my people. And then let's get to the actual. This is what's crazy. So everybody was going in. People were making crazy posts, claiming this, that, and the third about the situation. And then this one broke right here. This is what I was telling y'all about the police report. I read it myself. And what they ended up saying, and let me pull it up here, y'all. I'm sorry for this. Let me get over here to the police report. There's a lot of breaking news over here. Is right here. So if you get to I don't know if you get to this report here, says where I not alleged I did it. So what happened here, y'all, is when the
Mhm.
police report came out on April 4th. In the chilling words that Carmelo Anthony stated out of his mouth to the police officer, this is from the police report, he said, "It's not alleged, I did it." Then he was telling him that is this self-defense, which in Texas, it's not a self-defense case. You cannot pull out a weapon on someone like this and hit them in the heart, when it's one-on-one. And the police report states,
Mhm.
I mean, they were saying that they were bullying him and the brother. It's not true. It was a one-on-one situation. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, without being too biased here, we know there are certain groups and segments of people that you cannot speak to. And this goes on all races, all people. Some people are hot-headed. That's why I made a video, hit 100,000 views on TikTok and Facebook, where I said that we need to teach our kids it's better just to walk away, don't even approach someone, right? And just let it go and live to survive another day. Because the days of good old fist fight nowadays, settle like men, it's over
Mhm.
with. And people are in the comments saying, basically, some were saying, "Yeah, Nino, keep your hands to yourself. It wouldn't happen." That's a shame. Anybody using that excuse, you're pretty ignorant. You're pretty sorry to sit there and say, "Yeah, keep your hands to yourself," and you're excusing this kid doing this. That's not what I was saying in my video. I was just saying that we need to learn how to avoid certain people, certain situations. That way we live to see another day. And I was talking about my kids because I stand up myself, simple and plain. But people are saying in there, and they've been saying, keep your hands to yourself. This, that, and the third. I think that's a horrendous statement for people to say to basically sweep this under the rug. Quit saying that crap. Or you can say what you want. But when people say that, sis, that really pisses me off. Saying, keep your hands to yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty damn sorry in my opinion. But let me read this report
Mhm.
here. If you don't mind, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and read what came out from this actual post. This came from verified news sources. Again, a lot of people were sharing fake stories on this whole situation. I did my best due diligence to share what was actually accurate and factual. I ain't trying to share really the truth. Okay, it could be your truth, my truth. I was sharing facts. Okay, so this came from the actual police report. I'm going to read most of it right here, and we'll go into the GoFundMe's in a minute. I'll open up the lines if people want to call in. We have somebody that wants to call in that's pro Carmelo Anthony, saying that Texas is a racist state. I'm
Oh God.
the people I've experienced that from were my own people, to be honest. But that's some people have their opinion about that. But let me get to this actual police report right now with Carmelo Anthony. So right here it says when it came out, and this thing went viral, y'all, all over the internet, everywhere. People were, going crazy, reading this because it actually was some of the most first proofs that we had because there wasn't a lot at first. I'm not alleged. I did it. A shocking confession as police in Frisco, Texas say those words came out from the mouth of 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony after being put in handcuffs for the stabbing, unaliving of a 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. It says Anthony, sis. Is his name Austin or Anthony?
Austin.
Is that his name? Is it both? Because this report says Anthony. I'm already seeing this.
Um, everything I've seen, Carmelo Anthony is the black guy,
Yeah,
and Austin Metcalf is
but
the
it says
white guy.
Anthony Metcalf right here. I've seen people use that name, and I've used the word Austin. I've seen Austin Metcalf as
It
well.
must have been a typo on their behalf.
Okay, well we'll figure it out. Anyways, new details today following the release of the police report. The detail the horrific attack was sparked when Anthony, who was sitting under another team's pop-up tent, wow, at a track meet as it rained Wednesday morning, was asked by Metcalf to move, and Anthony refused, according to the police report. Damn. Anthony then unzipped the bag, reached inside, and told Metcalf, whom he'd never met before, touch me and see what happens. Damn. A witness told police, according to the documents. Okay. Moments later, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the heart. So I guess that is part of his name, sister Austin Anthony. We'll see. Police said Anthony ran away before he was chased down and arrested. I was protecting myself, Anthony allegedly told cops. He put his hands on me. He also then asked cops what constitutes self-defense, according to the report. And I seen the report. I'll probably pull it up if I get a chance. Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School outside Dallas, suffered a stab wound to the heart and passed away in the arms of his identical twin brother, Hunter. Anthony is charged with unaliving and is in the Colon County Jail on a $1 million bond. A former prosecutor tells NBC DFW Texas does not allow a person to use deadly force in response to verbal provocation alone. So I don't think he's going to get a self-defense plea here. I don't think he's going to get on that, sis. Your thoughts after I read this report? Go ahead, Christy.
I'm just like I've already kind of said how I feel about everything. People people want to, and so let me just give everybody a little bit of backstory on me. I am white and my son is biracial, married to an African American man. So I see black and white. But what I can't stand is I can't stand this racial stuff, that everything is racial. Even if it was racial, who was really the racist in the whole situation? If he told him to move, that he was not in the right seat, that he was sitting on the wrong side, that I guess it was like a rivalry between these two teams or whatever. The black guy stabbed the white guy. So isn't that racist? It makes no sense to me. Like I just don't have tolerance for it. It makes me absolutely sick that you see 100 and however many $1,000 has been raised for his attorney fees and all of that. He unalived somebody.
Right here. There are currently 12 different fundraisers. Now, this was posted April 6th on my page. Maybe some have gone away, but there are about 12. When I posted this, there was 12 different fundraisers for Anthony, Carmelo Anthony, should I say. So there he is. And then I think I have an updated one where I think some of his got taken down because on certain sites, you cannot have someone that, you can't have somebody that commits a crime having a GoFundMe. So I think they took one down and now they're on Give, Send, Go. and check how much they made here. I don't know if you can look it up right now, sis, but right now on Give Send Go, it's 100,000.
It's
But
180,000.
okay, I'm finna say I posted this yesterday at 6:17 p.m.
As a matter of fact, let me change that. Whenever you and I first started talking before we did this live, it was at 180. It's already up to 204,449 for him
Okay, fact.
For Carmelo.
And no, the name, I think the name is Anthony Austin because everywhere I look, it's either Austin Metcalf or Anthony Metcalf. So I actually believe those are both his names because I'm looking up right now. I wanted to correct myself, but I think his name is Anthony Austin Metcalf. So it's both things. Anyways, I digress. So there's the Give Send Go with, Chrissy saying almost a quarter milli, right? So let's go to Austin Metcalf's GoFundMe. His is on GoFundMe, where it can be legally because he didn't commit a crime. His father, they said, has one raised and it's already $250,000. That was at 7 p.m. yesterday. Sister, can you check out the numbers on that one currently?
It's
Go ahead.
271,807. But we've been on the phone a total of 56 minutes and 25 seconds. In those 56 minutes, Carmelo's Give Send Go has gone up $24,000.
Guys, I ain't gonna lie, sis. This is basically, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. It's Anthony. Hold on, someone say Anthony Carmelo. This is basically uh I gotta get this Carmelo Anthony. That's what it says right here. It says Carmelo Anthony with a K. Anyways, this
Yeah.
is basically, I want to say, a war of, I don't want to say races, y'all, but the father even said, don't make this racial. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I've seen both sides. And I'm actually, to be honest, I'm on the side of Austin Metcalf. I'm going to be honest. I know how certain people move and operate. I know how minorities are. I'll just leave it at that. I know how white people are, especially in Texas, but I already know who usually is the aggressor, okay? And I had to say this. I believe that Austin Metcalf, no matter what he did, right, did not deserve to be hit in the chest with a knife. The student shouldn't have that on his body. People are saying that this might be, what's the word called? Premeditated. I don't know.
Yep.
But if he gets out of this, who knows? But I do know that I've seen from both sides, people are very adamant about this case. They're pissed. You got one side saying that don't touch nobody. Now, I just got to say this, Christy. If the roles were reversed, I bet they would have Al Sharpton down there in Frisco, Texas, the day it happened, right? But if the roles,
cities would have been burned down. Cities would have been burned down.
I believe
there would
so.
have been BLM riots across the nation. Yeah, absolutely, there would have been, and it's just. I don't know. And the thing that I can't stand is all this false reporting. So I was reading something where Carmelo Anthony, they had stated that he was a 4.0 student or something like that, which means, straight A's all the way through school, where they got actual reports of his grade point average, and it showed through the years that I think his highest ever was like a 1.8 grade point average, which is damn near dumb.
This is what I got right here, sis. This kind of went crazy. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. If I can pull it up, I hate even scrolling over here, y'all. Let me see. Well, let me get out of here. This post. Well, there is a call. Let's get this call real quick. My bad, y'all.
Let me hit
Hello,
my mute button.
no, go ahead, sis. You are on Nino Radio. Who's this? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Who is this?
This is Bella. I was calling up to talk about Carmelo Anthony, and I'm on his camp.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, you are calling in about Carmelo Anthony. Let me ask you. You don't have to disclose, but where are you located? What state are you located in?
I live in Stamford, Texas.
Okay, and how close is that? How close is that to Frisco?
I think it would be about 3 hours.
Okay, all right. So you heard what me and Chrissy were saying. What are your thoughts when you first heard about this happening? What did you think when you first heard about this? Go ahead.
I think the first thing that came to my mind was my heart was in my throat. Because as a parent of a biracial child, we know what happens in these practice and professional events because my child would play soccer.
Okay, go ahead.
And when he would play soccer, when we go to those games, it's very
She's cutting out
territorial.
bad, Nino.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
And people are going to have high tempers. You have to have coaches. You have to have security and all kinds of things that need to be in place.
Ma'am, can you turn down? Are you watching on YouTube? Can you turn the YouTube down? It's getting the feedback. Can you turn down your YouTube channel?
I don't have the YouTube.
Oh, okay. It's not on?
Volume turned on.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So
not sure why the feedback is there though.
I don't know if it's a TV in your background is giving us feedback. But anyways, so you believe that Carmelo Anthony should be freed, or who do you think here is the person to blame here?
I am 100% sure it's going to be the other child
So you
because
go ahead.
he had no business instigating the situation. It's not his business to tell Carmelo he's supposed to be there or here when it's raining. He should know how to behave in a situation like that.
So, ma'am,
But
so
the fact
words
that
are
he
enough.
did what he did,
So words are enough for Carmelo to unalive this guy because of whatever words he said.
not that. If my child is going to be unalive, I rather he protect himself than be unalive.
Oh, okay. So, ma'am, are you saying?
Because
Go ahead.
because if there is no protection over there, there's nobody there to see what happens, then it means a smaller child who is going to be bullied by a bigger child will be hurt.
Ma'am,
My child will be hurt.
ma'am. So hold on. You're saying that you actually are defending Carmelo Anthony for stabbing Austin Metcalf for putting his hands on him, correct? You think that is an offense worthy of death?
No, I'm just saying it was self-defense. And
Far from
I'm
it.
also saying if something had happened to Carmelo, people would have pushed that under the rug and said, oh, just another black
Ma'am,
child.
what mental plantation are you on? How many years of oppression have
I'm
you
sorry,
seen in
what
your
was that?
lifetime?
Oh, I
That
have seen
you
a lot of situations where my child, who's a lot smaller, has had to break up fights in these kind of professional events. And the things that
we're not
help him is security, coaches, and teammates.
Okay, ma'am. Let me ask you a question.
Those
So,
are things that were not there,
ma'am. So let me ask you a question. So
which meant Carmelo had to take care of things himself.
you
So would
think,
you rather have him beaten up by this guy,
I hope Carmelo
unalive
rides
by
the
this
lightning is
guy,
what I hope.
ma'am? Let me
than protect himself?
Man, let me ask you a question. So, do you think if the roles were reversed, you think that it will be swept under the rug? But don't you think that if this was on the other hand, with on the if the shoes were on the other feet, don't you think that Al Sharpton or someone just like him would be down there in Frisco and they will be doing George Floyd slash BLM march, protest, and riot for Carmelo? Do you think if the roles were reversed, you don't think they would do that?
I think BLM is not really there for BLM.
True.
They have their own agenda, which is more political. Because if you see the person who started the BLM movement, he made a ton of money and then disappeared.
Oh, I agree with that. Christy, anything else you want to tell this fine subscriber of ours? Go ahead, Christy.
The only thing I have to say is this is she says that there needs to be more security, more coaches, more interference from adults, things like that. Where was Carmelo's home training? Whenever I went to school, we were allowed to have gun racks on the back of our windows, and almost every truck at the school, you would see a hunting rifle, you would see this, you would see that, but people were raised with home training. Shame on his parents for not teaching him how to handle himself in public. And I hope that Carmelo is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And I hope his parents are also.
So, ma'am, let me ask you.
I don't
Go
agree
ahead.
with that.
Go ahead.
And if that happens to your child, maybe you would agree with it. But if that happens to my child,
Let her
I
talk,
would hire
Christy.
a
Let her
lawyer,
talk, Christy. Go ahead, ma'am.
bail him out, give him a medal, make sure he's put into a situation of authority where he can protect biracial children like him.
So, ma'am.
Because down the road, white racist mindset, people need to have therapy so they can train their children how to behave in this kind of society we live in.
Ma'am.
The next generation is going to be all biracial children.
Ma'am. Well,
mostly.
Ma'am, I got a question. So,
and white supremacy doesn't work anymore.
Ma'am, I got a question.
If you look at the color of the skin, the white people, skin color is not even conducive for United States of America. So right now you're saying that Carmelo can be a liability, and what he did to protect his life is going to get him into prison.
Wow, Chrissy.
So as a parent, I go through so much of heartache to take care of my child, carry him for 9 months, do all the strips for his education, make sure he gets a 4.0 GPA, make sure he is a track athlete, put all that sacrifice, and then have a dumb white bully racist child.
Did you just say what?
Screw his chances.
You said dumb?
Ma'am. Okay.
Yes,
okay. Hold on, ma'am.
People don't really understand.
Ma'am, hold on.
How to function in an environment with diversity.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question?
You know?
Ma'am, can I ask you a question? So, can a black can a black person be racist?
We can be racist, yes.
You're black?
No, I'm East Indian. My child is black.
What race are you?
I'm East Indian.
And your
my child is Indian.
Okay.
And East Indian. But if you see him, he looks a lot like Carmelo.
Ma'am, so
I hope he was taught better than Carmelo.
Ma'am, so let me just get this clear. You believe Carmelo using a knife on an unarmed white young man, you think that is justified and that is good. That's good in your eyes, and that's a good case for self-defense. Another person with no weapon and Carmelo had a weapon, you think that is self-defense, correct?
The fact of the matter is, Austin did not need a weapon. His body is a weapon. Because he's a lot bigger than Carmelo.
Because he didn't hurt Carmelo.
He would have. because
Okay.
No,
Carmelo
you can't do
wants
that.
him.
You cannot speculate. Nope, you cannot speculate. You cannot
But
say
you
he
are
would have
speculating, right?
because
So you
Carmelo
can
stabbed him.
speculate and
I'm
I
not
cannot.
speculating. I'm not
If
speculating.
you
I'm
want
telling the
your
actual
child to
fact.
be a victim, please go ahead.
Okay. Let me ask a
But
question.
if it comes to my child, I will ask him to protect himself
Okay. Let me ask a question real quick. Let me ask a
because
question.
my child's
Good
life is
parenting.
important.
Good
Okay,
parenting.
ma'am. Let me ask a question then real quick.
Okay,
So,
so
ma'am,
if it comes to a
ma'am.
question of my child being alive or not, I would rather he protect himself.
Ma'am, but wouldn't you
In
want
fact,
wouldn't you want your child to walk
I
away?
would appreciate if teenagers have the opportunity to legally carry, especially if they are African American, biracial, and minorities.
Wow, ma'am.
The white race has
Is the best.
eliminated a whole nation when they occupied the United States of America.
Wow, that's
So I
crazy.
don't trust them
What the,
to have mercy on
I
my
know,
child.
Nino. You're talking to somebody who was
ma'am,
on this mental
ma'am,
plantation
ma'am.
No,
far
no,
way
I'm just
out.
telling you the fact the way it is.
What the
No,
If it
hell,
was your children,
you can give your opinion, but they are
you
not
would also
facts.
protect them.
ma'am? Hold on. I got a question, ma'am. So, what if it comes out that Austin did not touch Carmelo? Would you still believe it was okay for him to attack him with a knife?
I still believe Austin is a bully.
Why do you believe, ma'am?
I
But
believe the
what, ma'am,
society we
ma'am?
live in is
How are you
racist.
how are you speculating he's a
And I
bully?
believe because of the
That's all she
fact
had
that
was speculation and
Carmelo
opinion.
is a 4.0 GPA student.
He was not.
He's
He
a
It
track
came out what he
athlete.
was. He was 1.8.
And if
He was
he
dumb as
was
a box
doing
of
all
fucking
of those
rocks.
things, he does not have time to screw up his life
He did. He
because
had
ma'am,
plenty of
parents
time.
like me
ma'am, do you know Carmelo
will tell
Anthony?
them,
Ma'am, do you know him personally? How do you know all this? What if this kid wasn't as innocent as you think he is? I mean, does he just get away with murder?
Yep.
so this is what I'm telling you. I am telling you based on my experience with my child who looks like this, who does professional sports events like this, and what I face as a parent with him. I don't
You are teaching
appreciate
your
you
son
smiling,
all
Nina.
wrong.
Ma'am, so I
This
get
is a very serious issue.
okay.
We
You
have
need
to
to go
protect our
rub Buddha's
children.
belly and teach your son better.
Ma'am,
So if you
final
want to
words.
sacrifice your children, please go ahead.
My
But we
son's going to
also have to
fight for the
educate
United
people
States. So we can even have people
not
like
to
you with
bully
your
Ma'am, hold
completely
on.
smaller
wrong
children.
mindset.
Okay, ma'am. All right, ma'am. I'll give you the floor. The floor is yours, real quick. Ma'am, final words. Go ahead. The floor is yours. I'll give you the final words of the segment. Go ahead.
Final words, protect your children because nobody out there is going to protect them, especially if they're minorities, biracial, and African American, because unfortunately the society we live in has their own kind which will stab them in the back.
All right, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
as parents, please be careful, educate your kids, let them be the best that
Can she go now?
I'm sorry, what happened?
Okay, go ahead. Final words. Finish off. It cut off, but go ahead.
Yeah. So protect your kids. Your kids are not going to get replaced. Bullies need to be trained and have therapy because this
You need
bullying
therapy.
nature comes from the parents.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you. Have another
Okay.
call. God bless you. Thank you.
Go rub
Okay.
Buddha's
Thank you,
belly.
Nino. Take it easy.
Take it easy. You're on Nino Radio. Hello? Hello.
Hello.
Someone's calling. Hello. Can you hear
Hello?
me? Can you hear me? Who's this?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
This
Who is
is
this?
Melinda Hernandez.
What's up, Melinda? Talk to us.
Hi,
So
Melinda.
that woman that just called in, another caller,
What do you think about that?
maybe she doesn't realize that Carmelo Anthony was skipping school that day. He'd already been in trouble for having a knife at school before. If you go to his Facebook post, there's pictures of him with a gun, and there's posing with a gun, and there's another picture of him like giving the middle finger. So who's actually the bully?
So,
And Melinda, they said that everybody was trying to spread this false narrative that he was a 4.0 student. The truth came out.
I know.
And he like 1.8 grade point average. That is equivalent to like rocks. I mean, there's not a lot going on up
So
there.
I was looking at that. I was looking at that from the beginning, where they did an interview with his dad right after the murder. I'm sorry,
yeah, it's all
sorry.
good. Go ahead.
I'm loving. Yeah.
Anyways, the boy, what's his name?
Carmelo. Austin.
The guy who was unalived.
Austin.
He was actually a 4.0 student,
Wow.
Yep.
and he had just got MVP of football. And so I just don't like what they did was they took the information that the one that Christy was just talking about, and they just switched the names of what actually the accomplishments were.
Wow, that's probably a pretty good theory there. So let me ask you this.
And the thing is from everything that I have read, and I'll go through and research even more to make sure that I'm 100% correct on this. What had happened is Carmelo was from a rival team and was sitting on the wrong side. And Austin said to him, "Hey, dude, you're in the wrong seat. You need to get up." Whatever verbal exchange happened after that, it never needed to lead to the level of what this boy did. The lady that called in is on some mental plantation somewhere and is going to raise her child to be on that same oppression bullshit, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, it's awful.
Melinda, let me ask you
He's
one.
drinking the white supremacy Kool-Aid.
I agree, Melinda. So whenever he came out and he said that he didn't, it's not alleged. He said that I did it. He said this to the police officer. They were running with a bunch of narratives that he was being bullied, he was being jumped. Whenever you heard that this young kid told the truth and told the arresting officer that he did it and that was it self-defense, do you think that this right here falls in the category of self-defense in the state of Texas?
No.
Words. What?
I mean, I don't live in Florida.
Even in Florida, where you have stand your ground,
he was there with a knife. He was on school grounds with a knife.
Exactly. And you have to feel like your life is in imminent danger. Words are not imminent danger. I can walk around and say anything that I want to all day, but that's not putting anybody's life in jeopardy. Whenever he pulled out the knife, he absolutely had every intent to do what he did to Austin.
And Melinda, Bella's right here commenting, the lady that called in says that people do not want the truth. So she's saying that this world is going to be full of biracial children and that white supremacy is a threat to them. So I guess people like that, with that mindset, I've seen them, saying certain things, especially against Austin. Melinda, what do you feel whenever they say that keep your hands to yourself? That's what they keep saying about Austin. He should have kept his hands to himself. Your thoughts on that? Hello?
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, I always taught my kids to defend themselves, but don't start anything. I mean, I'll be honest about that. But, I mean, how bad was the push? We don't know. We don't know. Did he shove him to the ground? They didn't say that. It just said he, pushed him and took his backpack. When he grabbed his backpack, when he got stabbed.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's totally unnecessary. The guy had a weapon. The other kid was unarmed. And there it is. Thank you, Belinda, for your time. Thank you for your call. God bless you.
All right. All right.
Have a good night.
Bye, Belinda.
Good night.
All right.
Enjoy.
Oh, sorry about that. Awesome. Got some calls in. 432-217-0709 if you want to call in, y'all. We weren't really doing call-ins, but Bella wanted to call in. We're going to clip that and play that and see where that goes because pretty sure she's going to piss a lot of people off. Your thoughts real quick, Christy, on Bella. I know I didn't let you go too full throttle on her, sis. Go ahead without being too crazy. Go ahead.
Well, you're talking to Christy Maga, and you know that if
We got a
that
call.
if I
Sorry,
think it,
sis. We got a
I'm
call.
I'm gonna say it. Okay,
Hello.
it's probably a good thing.
You on Nino Radio? What's up, bro? Hold on, brother. Hold on. It's the homie right here from Midland, Texas. Who is this?
Let me turn y'all down a little bit.
Go ahead. Who is this?
This is Jaquil.
What's up?
Thompson on YouTube.
Prosper Thompson. What's up, brother? How are you? What up? Talk to us.
I'm well. I'm alive. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. Tired on days off, bro. What's up? So what are your thoughts on, I guess you calling in about the Austin Metcalf, right, bro?
Yeah, so I want to give an unbiased opinion where I don't lean on either side, whether he's guilty or not guilty. Is that cool?
Yeah. Go ahead. Either way.
Yeah.
So
Free
my
speech.
thing, I feel like both sides are very misinformed because, as your co-host is saying, in the state of Texas, if you fail one class, let's say I have 90s all in one class and 1D in another, you're ineligible or to play sports. He was a football player. So the report with his 4.0 is false. And the other report about how low his GPA is also false, or else he wouldn't have been eligible to play sports
Okay.
at all. So I think
And
both
I'll
sides
be the
should
first
wait
to admit it.
till more facts come out because we don't know if it was self-defense. We don't know if it's not. She mentioned the stand your ground law in Florida. I have a video where it was a few years ago. A black dude tackled a white guy. The white guy pulled out his gun. The black dude backed up, didn't go any further. He still shot him one time and killed him, and the white guy got off. So what is stand your ground?
Stand your ground in Florida is pretty tough. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. If you feel like you've already been in a tussle, even if that person gets up off of you and you feel like I know exactly which video you're talking about because I think I've seen it a million times. But it's just, I mean, it's sad that during a high school football game that this is the kind of stuff that happens or whatever they were doing, whatever kind of sporting event they were at. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's sad.
Well,
And I
it
do
was
think
it
that
was a track
also,
meet.
But hey,
yeah, and I do.
Jaquil, let me just ask you this, bro.
What's
So
up?
so let me ask you. I know you're saying you're being unbiased, right? And of course you're saying wait till the facts come out. I
Right.
agree. But in the day of social media, I mean, they're already getting the 250,000. Both sides are already at a 250,000, bro, on the GoFundMe's, right? So this is not going to be
Absolutely.
in the court of public opinion. People are already biased, and I'm a biased person too. I don't think it's right, bro, that the kid pulled out the shank and hit Austin in the heart, bro. You know, if they're one-on-one, one has a weapon, one doesn't. I think what this kid is charged for, right? I think what he did is horrendous, and he admitted to it. He said, not alleged, I did it. It's in the police report. That's not a fiction or opinion. That's actually what he said, and he's trying to get off on the self-defense. So let me ask you, Jaquil, do you think that him doing what he did to an unarmed student, do you think that that's morally correct, or do you think that that is a self-defense case?
So my thing is, I don't know if it's self-defense, but I can say it's not moral. But people like me and you, we grew up in a different time. If we had an issue, we're going to get out there, throw hands real quick and shake hands or whatever happens afterwards. This is a different generation, and I'm not saying that morality should change, but I'm saying their mentality changes. They're a lot more scared.
Right.
The younger guys, they pull guns quicker. Like,
Yeah.
if he attacked
I mean, you're
him,
absolutely right.
and so if he attacked him and he stabbed him, I'm not saying I agree with it, but does the law agree with it? Because me, I'm a fight one-on-one. I get out there. Like,
Yeah.
not trying to sound ghetto or nothing. That's the truth.
I know. I already know how we are in Midland, bro. We rock it one-on-one, and then that's all there is to it. But I'm just saying, bro, they arrested him. I don't think this is going to be a self-defense case. He might win. Who knows? I mean, but we are in Texas. And Jaquil, you know how it is in Texas, bro. The police and law enforcement and
But
the judge system, the court system do not play. They don't care who you are. You commit a crime, you will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law.
Yep.
So let me just ask you one more thing. This is Prosper Thompson on all platforms, y'all. There's the homie right here. So you think we need to wait before we cast judgment, which I don't think that's possible. But what do you think's going to happen overall in this whole situation? Do you think we're going to learn from this? Do you think he's going to be held found guilty? What is your prediction on this, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't have a see. I hope for righteousness because I'm not radical. I'm pro-righteous. So if he was in the wrong and there was no self-defense, they need to charge him. I don't care if he's 17, 21, whatever his age is. They need to charge him to the full extent of law. If true self-defense and it's moral and it's correct, he's not lying, then we got to do what we do in other self-defense cases.
Mm.
And, I do believe that you're right that a lot of news articles are putting out inaccurate information about grade point averages and things like that. The one consistent thing that I have seen across all news media is that Carmelo told Austin, touch me and see what happens. And he then unzipped his bag and pulled it out. And that's when it happened. I'm sure that there's somebody that got some video somewhere, and I don't know if that'll come into play with anything, but it's a sad situation.
Go ahead,
I'm
Jaquil.
like you. I was,
Right.
raised in a day where you did what you had to in the front yard, and then the next day you were fine.
So my thing is, if a video comes out, let's say he warned him and say, don't touch him, and he still touched him, I'm not saying it's right, but if I'm fighting someone, they pull out a gun, I don't have a gun, I'm not going to go charge at him. I'm going to do what I got to do to survive. Now, if a video comes out and he warns him and he didn't touch him and he still stabbed him anyway, that's guilt to me.
Good point. All right, Jaquil, final words on the matter, bro. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Go ahead. Prosper Thompson on all platforms. Final words.
On the word, I'm biracial. Let me state that to your YouTube platform. My father's white. My mother was black. Rest in peace. And I hate racism from both sides. I don't just defend white racists on Twitter. I'm on Twitter talking mess to the white supremacists. On Facebook, I'm on Facebook talking mess to the liberals. So I want to tell everybody I'm unbiased. I hate racism, and I wish we could just come together.
All right.
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, I'm sure that being biracial is hard. My son's biracial. And whenever BLM made their big movement, whenever it really got up and going, my son was like, the white side of me doesn't matter. And, trying to explain that to kids and all of that. And then trying to explain to him that BLM, although the name sounds good, that's not really what they were after. They really didn't care about the lives of those of the black kids and black communities and all of that. It was really confusing for him, and he was so young whenever whenever all that came out, and he was like, so the white side of me doesn't matter, only the black side.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it's really hard
Right.
for
Could I say one
biracial
more
kids.
thing,
Go ahead, Jaquil.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay, about the whole BML thing. I remember me and Nino, we actually started talking because I used to defend BML. I don't know if you guys know who Angela Stanton King is. She ran for governor in Georgia or something.
Based.
Yep.
Well, one day she posted there's a difference between BLM, the movement, and BLM, the political group.
Absolutely.
I believe, I didn't know, Nino was the one who informed me about what BLM really was. So I'm with the BLM that is constitutional and trying to do things the right way. All that other stuff, tearing everything up, I don't believe in that. I believe they help separate America so much, but that's a whole different topic.
Yep.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's a whole difference between the political movement and the ones that were doing the fundraising that moved into $1 million mansions in white neighborhoods. and never saw, could not even say where $1 million went to help any black community. All those poor babies that were hit by stray bullets in Chicago and all of
Abortion.
that. There's a complete there's a complete
Yep.
difference in the movement and the other side of it.
But all right, man. Appreciate it, Jaquil.
Right.
God bless you, brother. Thanks for calling in, bro. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yes,
And
sir.
stay
Have a
up,
blessed
brother.
night.
God bless you. That's the homie right there. Man, Christy, Christy, I don't know if you read the comments. They talking Bella's talking some mad ish about you, sis. Damn.
I don't care what Bella's got to say about me. Bella can be a keyboard
She
warrior, but
said,
she better bring
damn,
her stuff on.
she's talking some mad ish about you, Christy. But
Good. I'm
anyways,
glad it's tell her to go rub Buddha's belly, and to make sure that she wipes that red dot off her head before she goes to sleep.
Damn. Okay. All right, let's continue here, y'all. Damn, Christy. Damn. Okay. Anyways, all right.
I'm based. I don't care. I absolutely do not care. The energy that I have right now is the energy I have all the
Sis.
time, whether you meet me in person, whether I'm online, whatever. And Bella's going to be a keyboard warrior, but that's all she's going to be.
Damn.
So you keep up with her, Miss Bella.
Okay, damn, even this guy Jimmy's talking some ish. Anyways, the stream went off the rails, y'all. We'll probably continue tomorrow, finish up what we got. We have some more stories, but this is good enough. We'll clip it up and put it out there on all platforms. Chrissy, thanks for joining me. Final words on the whole topic, sis, because this really has taken over. I did a video
White Lives Matter.
Let's go. White Lives Matter. I did a video, sis, on TikTok, over 100,000 views. Same thing on Facebook, just saying, this day and age we live in, you can't let your kids. I talk about my kids, right? Because me and you, Chrissy, we're different. We're built different.
Yep.
But I say that our kids,
Yep.
basically the whole gist of what my message is this. I've survived so much, like many of us have, that, I go to the restaurant, I'm sitting my back against the wall, I'm watching all exits, I'm not comfortable. I'm never comfortable anywhere I go with my family. I got to protect them. So I say it to say this. We need to teach our kids to have, what's it called? Environmental awareness, situational awareness.
Absolutely.
Always be on your P's and Q's. Know what people to avoid, because yes, there are some groups of people we should avoid when we see them. You can judge them when you see them, and make the determination to cross the street, right, or get away from them. But there are certain people we are to avoid in life, and don't even give them time of day. If we don't know them, don't even approach them. And we should always do our best to walk away. Now, Bella says she wants her kids to defend themselves. And hey, I'm all for self-defense, of course. But at the same time, I want my kids to live and prosper in the United States. And it's sad to say, somebody commented on my video and said, man, it's basically you got to cower to the bullies nowadays. That's kind of, in a sense, the truth. Now, am I going to bow? No, I'm not. But at the same time, sis, I'm not going to be Mr. Proud and arrogant and full of ego and just get into some stuff. I'm always going to try to simmer down and walk away. But that's what I said. We have to teach our kids to learn when the time is to not flex your power, flex it, whatever. If you have true power, you should learn how to use it and not use it and know when to do so. So basically saying that you don't always got to have to be into a conversation. A confrontation, should I say. Sometimes it's best, y'all, to walk away. To teach our kids to, hey, you know what? Certain kind of people, when you see them, they don't want to talk. They will pull out a knife and they will stab you. We've seen it time and time again. I don't care what anybody says. I'm with Austin Metcalf right here, y'all. Unarmed, white young man at a school event gets stabbed in the chest by a fellow student not even from the school. I don't even know. Who cares? He's unarmed. Someone else is armed, and we've seen the pictures. We've seen the proof. We've seen the attitude, and we see the people that defend Carmelo. Okay? Simple and plain. Teach your kids to avoid certain situations. Teach your kids to avoid certain groups of people. Take it for how you want. I don't really give a flip. And teach them to survive and live to see another day. Christy, final words. Go ahead.
Well, it's not time for me to get into my testimony, and I don't feel like that tonight. But all I can say is that I was pretty rough and tough whenever I was growing up. I was a bully of the bullies, and I went to a Christian school that led me to God, and I still need to work on some things. But I am so sick of this racial crap that people pull. if it would have been the opposite, if all I can say is if it would have been the opposite, cities would be burned down. You'd be hearing about it all over the news, monuments toppled, just everything, and taking somebody's life for a conversation to get out of a seat is not worth it.
I agree.
And Bella, I hope you have a good night.
She said that you're pretending to be white, but anyways, we'll leave it at that, sis. Don't worry about it. Okay, with that, y'all, thank you. Christy, thank you for everybody watching out on the repeat. And we're out of here, y'all. Check me out on all platforms, y'all. We're doing big numbers on Facebook, man. 1 million impressions, y'all. 9 million accounts reached in 28 days. 1 million impressions, interactions on my Facebook page, Nino America. I'm the biggest guy in West. I'm the biggest page in West Texas, y'all. And I got multiple pages. We got a bunch of news posted hourly,
Let's go.
memes, everything, y'all. The Advocate, we run a bunch of pages. Christ is Lord. And with that, y'all remember, you ain't gotta like it. We're out of here.